Paddy, good to see you in the new year. I trust you had a good New Year's Eve.
I did. It was, I think I went to bed at, 10:30.
Oh, nice. Did you actually stay up for midnight or anything like that?
Well, no, 10:30 in the evening. So,
In the evening?
you
So you didn't even wake up to like,
I have a long history of going to bed relatively early.
So you're not having any of that New Year's Eve
I ain't having
stuff.
any of that stuff at all.
But did you break open a bottle of bubbly?
I did. I broke open one bottle of bubbly with alcohol in, and one bottle of bubbly with a bottle of bubbly with no alcohol in, because actually recently I gave up alcohol. It's my month anniversary just recently.
Oh, congratulations, Paddy. That's really good stuff.
It was really refreshing though, actually. Non-alcoholic bubbly.
Fantastic. Well, it's funny you should say that, because the amount of bubbly being bought by Poles and drunk by Poles is going up extremely. And in fact, the whole wine industry in Poland has actually, in 2020, went through the roof. Now, I got thinking, maybe this is pandemic based, maybe not. But there you go. Poles spent 3.5 billion zloty on wine.
That's a lottie zloty.
It's a lottie zloty in 2020. And you also, one thing which really kind of caught my attention in the story, which of course you can find out and read all about by clicking on the link below this video, is the fact that the number of Polish vineyards is just short of 300. Now that's kind of like going up tenfold in 10 years, and that's quite a lot. And that kind of made me think. I mean, I was in Krakow for Christmas and New Year. I was visiting family, and we went for a Christmassy walk, as you do. I think this was in the second day of the new year, and we all went for a jaunt up to the it's called the Bielane Las, so the Bielane Forest. There's one in Warsaw, and there's also one in Krakow where the Kamedulian monks have their kind of cells. They're kind of
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful kind of church on a kind of hills and on the Volsky Hills outside Krakow to the west.
No way.
But it's still within the city limits. And you drive up this kind of like beautiful kind of serpentine road, and you turn off, and then you have to take a right. And then suddenly...
Thanks for the directions.
Yeah, I know. Just in case.
Let me... Oh, I've forgotten that.
Basically, straight and then a right. You can't miss it, mate. But
so.
one thing which really kind of grabbed my attention, which kind of feeds back into this story, is that there is a massive vineyard right in the center of Krakow, basically. And I'm thinking, hang on, what is this vineyard stuff happening here in Poland? I mean, I remember like when I first moved to Poland, there were vineyards which started to open in the southeast Poland, in the Podkarpackie province. So that's right in the southeast kind of corner, because obviously that's where they get the more sun. It's kind of like the southernmost part of Poland. But like to actually see a vineyard inside a city limits, like the only other town I can think of, or city in Europe I can think of, which has the same kind of setup is Vienna. And Vienna also has loads of vineyards, like, kind of spread around the outside. But to actually see something like this in, Poland's ancient capital, I thought that, that was pretty cool. And obviously that, feeds nicely, or kind of ferments nicely back into this story.
It was good though. That was good.
Gotta like it. I'm working on the puns, I'm trying to, making an effort.
That was a corking story, John.
It was a corking story. And so Poles wine spending a lot, 3.5 billion zloty, 300 vineyards. I mean, obviously Poles are really getting into their wine.
So it's like a nascent industry which is really growing. Poland's not really associated with wine, but from what you're saying, this story is giving us a clear indication that it's really growing.
It's turning into a real big industry.
It's a growing story.
It's a growing story. It's fermenting nicely.